I really believe behavior addictions are the problem of our moment,
Yeah.
and that people don't know it, recognize it. I just talked to a half dozen guys whose wives went out on testosterone and became sex addicts.
Yeah, because testosterone gets you.
And they're not used to it. They don't know what to do, and
Yep.
they have a problem, and they go out on it.
Yep.
And
Now, I think I know.
and they don't go to program.
Right.
So people aren't going to program yet the way they should, or treatment.
I think I know what you mean when you say behavior addictions are the issue
So-
of our age.
so
What does that mean exactly?
So gambling, sex, eating, shopping, debting, everything other than putting a substance in your body.
Okay.
That can become addictive.
I would be inclined to throw phones in there.
Yes, for sure. And there are people that actually treat that primarily, but it is usually phone has a theme: sex,
I understand.
spending, something. It's usually the theme that gets you.
Right.
And phone has to be made safe or put away as part of the recovery from whatever the
I
theme
see.
is.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but I do know there was a period in my life where I decided I wanted to cut back on drinking when I was much younger, and I wasn't aware of it at the time, but I got really into, found lots of projects on the internet, and it wasn't sex, it wasn't gambling, but I do see in retrospect, it was a place where I could check my brain. So sometimes I do think screens, just the distraction element.
That is called process addiction.
Okay.
And again, that's why I was leaning away from calling it a particular instrument, but obviously the phone is the crack pipe of all these addictions.
Okay, so back to what you guys were talking about.
Right. So when I got completely sober and tried to, because I realized, living the life that I live and wanting to settle down with somebody, you can't inflict that on somebody again. And I can't live knowing that I've done that. So I needed to rectify
Can't
the
live
situation.
knowing that I've done that. So you made amends with Katie.
Yes, I have. I've made amends with my children's mother and everybody. I've made
for
my
you.
amends is done, and
So-
counting
but
because I will still
I'm sure.
need to do it.
Yeah, I know how it goes. But you said you can't live with the fact that you did that to somebody. But
That was the thing when I cheated, and I look back on it because I've lost her forever,
yeah,
and that still burns to this day.
I see.
And if I find somebody else, I will just do the same thing again.
I would argue that whatever her reaction was, she gave you a gift.
I told her that in my amends because she was worried. She was like, "Seems like you got it together without me," and I was like, "I got it together because of you."
It's often the way it is, and that's the thing about being the is that you feel like, oh, you're just getting your shit together because it's been a discovery and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, just like an addict doesn't fucking come to treatment until they're in prison going, what am I doing wrong?
You got to
Then
get
they
a rock
come.
bottom.
You have to hit
going,
a bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a loss of freedom, loss of relationship, loss of children, loss of health. Those
Right.
are the bottoms.
Right. So I got a lot of those. And then when I got sober and started working on it, I realized that sleeping with people that are, because I've always, when we're talking about gay stuff, where I'm like, I'm not attracted to guys.
Well,
Like,
this is the part I want to drill into because I'm not quite sure where you're putting that on the addictive scale. So you said you said it very, I think you said it a very specific way. You said, I'm not doing gay stuff right now. Is that what you said?
I'm not gay.
Explain that, how that happened and what that's all about. And why the fuck should any community give a shit about your health and your journey?
I don't think it's a community. I just think it's a couple people that saw me a certain way. And they also, like, when this person explained it, how dare you do that? I'm still a supporter of the LGBTQ.
course.
I just don't.
What happened if you
engage
What if you
in-
actually pulled your balls off and just you're part of your balls hair and you did nothing? Then what would you be? An insult to gay men?
That'd be a cool trick. Yeah. But I don't want to.
Sure, it's
I'm
been
just
done.
no.
I know
To
it's
me,
been
it was guys are very easy, and if I could have had a girl come over 4 or 5 times a day,
Interesting.
guys, there's an app where they will come over and you can do it, and you can just keep running over and over again. And when I engaged in that kind of stuff, it was just like when I drank and smoked weed. I only want more.
You know, it's
It's
interesting.
never enough.
Yeah, of course.
So it just kept multiplying, and
Yeah.
then when I finally cut it off, I found myself not being attracted to guys or being interested in anybody really, unless I have like, I really like this person,
Closeness.
yeah, and then we could probably have sex. I'm not again. I like sex. It's just not the way I used to look at it in a just give it to
an
me.
addictive way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's healthy sex. Now it's real sex.
Yeah, there's
part of a
real.
relationship.
Like if you say something weird, I'm like, oh well, that's it's not going to work out for us. But I'll be like, well, we'll still have sex, but I'm not going to date you.
And you were mostly having sex with other sex addicts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You realize all these other people, they're like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm not interested in. I had a girlfriend for a while, and people would be like, what's up? You still with your girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And now I'm single again. They're like, oh, so you're single? What's up? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm by myself. I'm not. No, the answer is still no. I'm not interested in random somebody who just wants to do that. I'm not interested in it.
For some reason, I'm thinking about something you said to me. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. This is me with my weird intuition again. You told me something once. You said, yeah, I punch girls in the face during sex. And I was like,
whoa,
what? You told me this. And I go, what?
Slap, you mean?
Hit in the face we were talking about. It might have been slap. I don't know. We didn't specify.
Wasn't punch.
Okay. And and I was like, wow. Like, how do you know that somebody's going to react to that? And you go, I just know. And that was interesting to me.
Yeah, because, okay, now that you've maybe go down this road, that because of the way I look, there were a lot of girls that when we would hook up, they would be very aggressive.
They want that kind of...
want me to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And it was like an adjustment because I'm not. I do look like this, but when I usually sleep with people, I'm not a choking, slapping, mean guy.
But they wanted that.
I'm kind of slow, but with being... That was the other thing. A lot of the same kind would be attracted to me.
Exactly, of course. They're also
because I'm a magnet to that because of my damage.
Yes.
So the only people that want to sleep with me is like choke me, slap me, spit on me, and I would be like, okay, this is the world that I belong in. And then when I got sober and stopped doing all that stuff, I found that I'm like, if somebody was to do that now, I'd be like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, what happened to you that made you want me to do that?
And now you're going to start getting the codependents on your squad,
Well,
but like me, codependents, and but it makes me wonder, and I'm not suggesting you should,
okay,
but makes me wonder. Do you ever wonder about making amends to some of these people, since you participated in their addiction in some way that was uncomfortable? And I'm not saying you should. That kind of thing is a curiosity to me.
Well, I don't think.
How do you decide whether you do or don't? Or
there's not many people that I did that with.
Okay.
And the people that I did do that with, like you said before, where I think that their addiction is pretty serious too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't think they'd understand the reason for an apology. They'd be like, "I wanted you to."
Yeah, they're still in it.
Like I've never slapped a girl and they've gone, "Oh my God."
No, you told me that. Now I found that kind of interesting. I was like,
And it was always this. It was a certain person that was, you can tell they like I said, like they wanted me to, and they were like, somebody taught me how to do it. And that person, if I go, hey, remember how we used to hook up and I slapped you, and I'd like to apologize for that, she'd be like, I told you to. I taught you how to do it.
No, it reminds me of trying to talk to porn stars about sex addiction.
That's who they were.
Yeah.
Which, that was another thing. The only people that I slept with were porn stars or dudes. And then when I got and trans, and most of the actually every trans person I hooked up with was a porn star or a prostitute or both.
This was full male to female or partly male
both
to female? Both ways. Yeah.
The person that taught me the slapping thing was a trans man who was born a woman. And they were, and I know for a fact that I'm not going to make it, because sometimes you making an amends if it's going to harm somebody, it's not worth doing.
Well, no, you're not supposed to do it.
Right. So I'm not going to do that because I think engaging with these people, I think it's best to just never.
That's the
speak to
interesting
them
thing
again.
about sex addiction. You heard the term qualifier?
No.
You've not heard that term? So it's a word used in sex addiction a lot. It's the person you acted out with that qualifies you for participation in the program. The qualifiers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a term. And
I mean, that was everybody at one point.
Yeah. Well, but the qualifiers, sometimes the best thing in sex addiction is to stay away from the qualifiers.
That's where I'm at. Look, if they were to reach out to me, that'd be different.
Yeah.
And I'd be more than willing to accept to make an apology if necessary.
Of course.
But when it comes to I'm still new. And
Well,
it's
you're
like
18
going
months.
to a bar and like,
And they say, by the way, it takes 3 to 5 years to really fully recover from a sex addiction.
oh, I believe that.
Yeah, feels like it, right?